We're concerned about the whole pullouts and players not being available for this international friendly. But I think with what Promise has said, we should be able to put our concerns to rest. How do you react to all that the media officer has just updated us with?
I think basically my reaction will be behind the energy of the team, of the coaches, and of course Nigeria as a country to want to play, to see out this game. He described some of the turbulences, some of the issues they had trying to arrive at the venue. For a fact, we played in Russia when they were not under sanctions before. That was a friendly against Argentina, but this is the first time we are playing in Russia against Russia. So this presents a unique set of challenges and opportunities for the national team. Opportunities for the coach. Yes, players are withdrawing, and we've seen such situation. We saw such situation happening with the Unity Cup, where it breaks. Everybody's talking about Benjamin Frederick, the defender with under 21s at Brentford, and now everybody's touting him as the next biggest thing. And it only happened because the player withdrew. I had to go sort some family issues, and you have to understand this withdrawal. I sympathize with the national team coach, because this is the time players need to rest. Some of them, they've gone through a grueling season, playing week in, week out, midweek for their clubs, or sometimes coming for the national team duties. Now they are almost 2 weeks into their rest off season, so a lot of them would have pended, would have put something behind to solve in this off season. So okay. I feel sympathy for him, but also I feel happy for him that he's having the opportunity to see more home-based players. Some of them were meant to be dropped before the trip to Russia, so they are still staying put with the national team. So okay. One problem has been solved for him, getting to see players, different type of players, so that his squad depth will enlarge. We will understand how players can adapt to his tactics, and some of them, as we have watched some of his game, playing out of position to see how we can fill in some of the issues with the national team. I saw him try Chukwueze playing centrally, playing attacking midfield, rather than playing from the wing in most parts of that game, that final game, before eventually going to the wings later in the game after substitution. That gives you a bit of thinking that whenever we are not having Iwobi around, there's certain players that could fit into that position. We also saw the debut of Christian Tsuche too. So these are, as much as it's a problem in terms of their traveling arrangement, in terms of players withdrawing, it's also an opportunity to test new players and enlarge, expand the squad depth.
Okay, all right, quickly, what do you make of that mindset by Eric Schell, the coach of the side? He says they are playing every match to win. Remember that I know that the whole Unity Cup trial might have been rubbing off on the coach himself, because this will be his, apart from that win from the games played for the fixtures that Nigeria needs to execute, this will be a fresh trophy he's lifting with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So what do you make of that mindset, that they're playing every single game to win anytime? Still with you, please, quickly.
I've seen, we can see the mindset in the results he has put out so far. He's yet to lose a game. In about 3, 4, 5 games he's played for the national team. He has recorded a draw, although it was an unwelcome draw in the wrong competition. But yeah, it worked out for him. And if he's having that mentality, it tells us he's a winner, a professional winner who wants to win every contest. And that's how you should go into games. It does not mean he will win every game. Okay. But it's good to go into games with the ambition to win.
But with the trophy, the Unity Cup trophy, has he won your confidence, like vote of confidence from you? Do you give him that vote?
Definitely. Winning trophies helps you. It helps you trust whatever you are putting out, and lets you know that you could be victorious, and you could build on that such mentality for the players. You could see the joy of the faces of the players. Though it is a non-competitive trophy to win, but you could see how happy they were having something in their name, lifting a cup in the colors of the national team. So it helps the team overall in terms of their mentality. It does a lot of work the psychologists would have done, knowing that they can go into any competition and aim to win.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Enitan Obadino. We appreciate your thoughts on the show, and we'll be hoping that the Super Eagles can always make us proud at any competition whatsoever, even if it's a friendly. Thank you, and have a lovely day.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure. Today, we still remain in this conversation, and it's time to talk women matters. It's the Super Falcons. They return to action for the first time in 2025 on home turf, and preparations heating up for the Women's African Cup of Nations. Nigeria's nighttime champions, they take on Indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon today at the newly revamped MKO Abiola Sports Centre in Abeokuta, Ogun State. It is more than just a friendly, guys. It's a test of might, mentality, and readiness. with history, rivalry, and redemption all on the line between these two teams. So we'll be speaking to key voices of seasoned journalists like Jidechi and also a former media officer of the Super Falcons of Nigeria, Oluchi Tobechuku. Thank you so much. I call her Tobex. Thank you for joining us on In the Game today. We appreciate you for joining.
I'm visiting again, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I know that we have been waiting to see the Super Falcons play. What has been the plan for 2025? They are heading to the Women's African Cup of Nations. But Tobex, how significant is it for the Super Falcons to finally play on home soil again?
Well, a lot of fans have been dying to see them play on home soil. This will be a first game for them for the year 2025. And it is also very important that they leave the shores of this land on a win note, en route to winning the La Decima, the Mission X, whatever name they want to target, but making sure that they win, the WAFCON for a 10th time.
So what impact would this home engagement have on the team? You've been with the team, you understand them. So what impact, with the fact that they're playing at home, they return home this time around, what impact will it have on the team?
Of course, a home victory will boost the confidence of the players. A home victory will also assure, the home fans that this is the Super Falcons that they know, and then that battle ready, for the WAFCON in Morocco. A home victory will also give the coach, Justin Madugo, a reassurance that the mixture of and the blend of home-based players and foreign-based players is taking the right direction he wants. So it touches every sector of the people, both the fans, the players, the technical crew, and also the federation that has also made this pre-WAFCON friendly possible.
Are there any standout players you think we should keep an eye on the Super Falcons?
Well, we'll say that we will know the set of players, especially the foreign. They have gone to the World Cup. They have been to the Olympics. But another fresh legs that I think if she gets the opportunity, a lot of home-based players will be happy. Somewhat like the ambassador, we have Olamide Bolaji, the highest goal scorer in the NWFL, the domestic league. I think she has about 14 goals. We also have the captain of Bayelsa Queens. They won the league, the Super Six, so they will be vying for the WAFCON tournament to decide who eventually qualifies for the Champions League. Unfortunately for her, she lost her husband some few days before she resumed camp, but she's in high spirits. She's in camp, comforted by our teammates. And these are very good players that I know that if given the opportunity, they could prove themselves. And we have two home-based goalkeepers. I'm not keeping funds for home-based players, but I believe that when you have players that are unknown, and if they are given the opportunity, to showcase what they have, and if they can deliver, the coach can boast to say, yes, I give this player this opportunity, to showcase herself. The likes of Rashida Tajibadi and Gift Monday, they all started in the domestic league here in Nigeria. And with time, they have come to prove themselves to become the captain of the Super Falcons. And Gift is in USA doing well, having made a bold statement in Spain before going down there. Chiamaka Nadozie, our #1 goalkeeper in Africa, she was there. If I were the coach, I wouldn't even start her. We know her what, we know what she can deliver. This is the time to give another goalkeeper the opportunity to have confidence in herself. Anything can happen to the first choice goalkeeper. The country can depend on only one goalkeeper. So let's test these goalkeepers in quality friendly matches.
So, Bex, you know that we have always clamored for great turnouts for women's football, especially. But given the choice that we have the renewed MKO Abiola Sports Complex as the new location for the Super Falcons today against Cameroon, what kind of turnout do you expect? Do you think the choice of Abeokuta as the pitch to be used, the venue to be used, will affect turnouts for the Super Falcons game today?
Well, I wouldn't know. I pray publicity is high.
Yeah.
And I also believe that the people of Abeokuta, they will be hungry, to come watch the game. Unfortunately, the postponement and cancellation of these games, I'm sure will also affect one or two persons. I got various calls even yesterday that some set of people were in Abeokuta thinking that the match was yesterday, Monday. I had to clarify and tell them, no, the game is going to take place today. And I hope that this same set of people will find their way to Abeokuta. It's just the passion today again. Lovers of women's football, especially in Lagos, it's not going to be a challenge. Ikene, Ijabode, it's not too far a distance. It just, we just saw what happened in the Super Six in Ikene. A lot of people were there. So I hope that every one of them will be in Abeokuta to support the Super Falcons.
That same hope with you. Thank you so much, Oluchi Tobechiku, for joining us today. I love to call you Tobex. Tobex, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. We appreciate your time on the show.
Thank you so much, Oni.
Thank you.
I'm good with Tobex.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day, Mo. All right, Jidechi, yes, we are counting down. 4 p.m. Nigerian time. We get to see Nigeria go up against the Indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon. But we have always seen this rivalry between Nigeria and Cameroon. These are two elephants that will go head to head at any time. But Nigeria will always come out as a dominant factor here. So, what confidence do you have in Justin Madugu and the way he's going to set up his team against the Indomitable Lionesses?
I'll be very honest. It's not a confidence thing for me. It's just the case of I think the girls just go and play their hearts out, play what they can play. I personally do think the treatment of the Super Falcons to the lead up of this game has been a mess. They've been treated in the most inhumane way possible. If I would say it's not the same type of treatment we've seen that was accorded to the male team, the Super Eagles. The Super Falcons has just been from one thing to the other. So my expectation for them is not so high up. I just hope they can go out, have fun, enjoy themselves. It will be the first game they will be playing, I think, in almost a year or possibly over a year. And it's been a very long time that these girls have been together to play a game together. So I'm not expecting much.
They played sometime in November. They played sometime in November, and that was at Ikene. I remember a friendly against Algeria.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So come on, we are active. We're as active as the guys.
But then again, we still cannot negate the fact that the treatment has not been the best that you would accord in national teams. In terms of expectations, my expectations are not so. I particularly do not have expectations for how this game should pan out. I just hope they can go out, have fun, and the team bonding we can get to see on the pitch. The coach gets to understand his players yet again, because we have the WAFCON coming up very soon, and it's very imperative that we go all out during the WAFCON and do the best we can.
Do you think Cameroon was just the best choice as a competition for us, that's in preparation for the Women's African Cup of Nations? Was Cameroon the best choice?
I'm not sure I got the question.
Was Cameroon the best choice for us in preparation for the Women's African Cup of Nations, judging by the group that we're in and the teams we get to face in those groups?
I absolutely agree. Cameroon is not a bad decision. Any way we want to look at it, these are heavyweights of African football. Cameroon, this is a team that have performed as high as the Super Falcons.
But I shock you that they're not going to the WAFCON, and that can really be play a part. They are playing against a team that's going to the WAFCON.
It still doesn't change the fact that this is a very decent side. They might not have qualified, but it still doesn't change the fact that we are facing a very solid team. It's just like in male football, you want to go for the World Cup, and because Brazil did not qualify for the World Cup, you say we conclude that, oh, maybe because they are not in the World Cup, we shouldn't be playing them. That's a very solid side in terms of World Cup conversations, and that's the same way we would look at Cameroon in women's football, and of course in WAFCON football history. Yes, they might not have qualified for this edition, but they still are a very decent side. They might not also be at the very top of their game currently, but a very strong side, if you ask me. I think it's a decent opposition we are facing today.
Do you consider that Cameroon has got nothing to lose, but Nigeria has got everything to lose? Everything plays out in this friendly.
That's why, like I told you, expectations are ground zero for me. We have nothing to lose. It's just a game to get to understand the team. It's just a game for the players to familiarize themselves.
No, I'm talking about physicality right now. I'm talking about physicality from the Cameroonians. If they go up against Nigeria, they'll be going to the Women's African Cup of Nations with a physical mindset. Don't you think that we have got more to lose?
I think you need to drop your expectations for this game, just like I've dropped mine to ground zero, to be very honest, and that's why I started from where I started from. This team have not been together for a very long time. Yes, we might say we did play a game later last year, but the treatment has not been right, and that's why I think the perspective I'm looking at this game from is the perspective that finally the girls can get to play together again. It doesn't matter if the team we are playing is a team that is going to the WAFCON. It doesn't matter if it's not going to be competitive from their side as it should be. It doesn't. Those things, I've thrown those out of the window, because the way I look at this game, it's a game for our team to familiarize with themselves. That is what is more important than every other thing.
Okay.
The coach needs to understand the players before he eventually goes to the WAFCON, and that's the way I see this game. It's just for the team to familiarize with themselves. So yes, I mean, if Cameroon let them have a field day with us, for me, it's the fact that the team can finally play a game together again after a while.
A prediction for today's game? It's 4 p.m. Nigerian time.
I do think we will win. I'm expecting possibly 2-0 victory.
Okay, let's see if that would really play out. But it's a good preparation for the Women's African Cup of Nations. Get to see some new players, like Tobex mentioned, Nigerian Women's Football League players who have been inculcated into the team. Abeokuta, we have Peace Effiong over there, and that's a great one to see that she has been brought into the team.